Alright, what's up guys? We are going to be doing a little bit of a grind here. Trying to get up to level 12 here so we can unlock the next waterway. Right now we're still at the Winding Rivulet. And I made the jump from level 10 to level 11 here. So now we're going to do the grind here and get from level 11 up to level 12. But first, we're going to buy some baits here, seeing how I've been kind of hoarding my silver, which I don't have that much. But I really probably need to start getting some more bait going. That way I've got it for when I go to other places, or just to keep going here. Ooh, that looks like it'd be a good bait, but it's out of stock. They've got bloodworms. You can get those fairly cheap. We're just going to go through here and get some bait back. I've got peas, I've got corn seeds, I've got wheat seeds. Now there's some bollier there. That's 30 pieces for red bollier. There's brown bollier. Now you can see there's several types of bollier. There's yellow, green, orange, pink, brown, red. And those are all for different types of fish. And luckily they're in here. I'm not really 100% sure that you would do too good with bollier, but bread, we've got an abundance of that. I'm debating the cabbage leaf because I'm not sure. See, the leaf must be fresh from the center of the cabbage. Oh, large specimens of grass carp. Okay, so we could try. Let's get some cabbage. Alright, so we got that. Now we got bait. It's raining a little bit here. We'll go back to our usual spot. We're going to go over the bridge, past Beaver Island, and into the Damned Valley. And right now my comfort level is not really that high. My guy's kind of a little cranky at me right now. I don't blame him though. It's wet, it's cold, it's rainy. I'd be a little mad myself. But we're going to make the run down here. Flashlight on, of course, for safety. Alright, so we've got a west wind right now blowing at 1.3 meters per second, which isn't really going to affect too much. Alright, what do we got on here for bait? Right now, let's throw... Let's try maggots on this little line. Back up so we can set it down in the water. That is our Soviet pole. Let's get our telestick out. See what we've got for bait on that one. I'm pretty sure that one's also bread. We'll go with bloodworms on that. Cast that one out there. Set that rod down, and last but not least, we're going to pull out our spinning rod for our ground fishing here. We got a steel leader on that. Let's try some cabbage leaf and cast this one out. Most importantly, oh, I know what I forgot to do again already. Same thing I always do. While I'm snugging up the lines and fixing it, I forgot. Every time you have to reset the leader length. I was good about it yesterday, so we got to bring this back to about 45 centimeters. There we go. Now we can set it down. But we are getting a bite even with that shallow leader line on our old Soviet pole here. So we'll see if anything manifests out of it. Yeah, we actually got a fish with that little bit of a leader. Nice little gibble carp. But now we can actually set our leader to 45 centimeters. Get it out there in the water. Now we've got all three poles going. proper leaders set on our fixed rods, and then we've got our feeder rod over there. We can zoom in. I don't think I really need the flashlight anymore. I think I see a fish at the telestick there in the water. And we got action here on this one. And of course now we're going to get action on both poles as my telestick is going away. Come on. Take it down. Okay. Oh, right as I do that too. I don't. Oh wait, no, we got some action on that. He's pulling that around. We'll set it back here though. Switch poles out. Flashlight can come off. He was on it, but I know after jerking the line like that, he's not going to be interested anymore. So we can see that the fish is playing with it. Come on, take it. I was going to use this opportunity to recast the Soviet rod, but knowing my luck, as soon as I put down this pole, that bobber is going to take off underwater again. And we're going to risk it, as that was a dumb move on my part. We'll just zoom in and take a look. And there goes my pole. Fish was taking it, but it's alright. We'll reposition it. Set her back down in the water, and I guess the feeder rod's not really gonna do well with cabbage on it. Yeah, we had nothing on this one, so we're gonna switch baits on the feeder. Probably go back to dough balls or something. Of course, every time I'm pulling in another rod, you always get action on another one. So we're going to switch our bait over to, let's go to bread, because we've got 300 bread balls. I'm going to drop that in over there. Set down the rod. Take the slack out of the line. And I can see something had a hold of that. At least my comfort level's gone back up now. My guy's not angry with me. I'm not sure if that was the wind blowing that feeder rod, but I think it might just be the wind doing it. Did you notice that one bell is moving and it slacked off? I think something is playing with that. Well, let's give it a shot. Nothing over there. So we'll put it back down and we'll re-snug it up. We'll just move it in a little bit. Yeah, I did have something on that. Probably too small of a fish for me to, oh yeah, he was bringing it in closer and closer and closer. So we will cast it back out again. Close the bell, most important part on that feeder rod. Snug her up. Go back to the Soviet line and see if we can bring us in a fish. Oh, and we got action on our telescopic rod. And we got one on that. Fish coming in. 261 gram common roach. Throw that back out in the water, set her down. And go back to the Soviet rod here. Which right now you can see there is a fish taking it. So we'll just yank him out of the water real quick. A little gibble carp. We'll set that down. We do have action on the feeder rod this time. I'm going to pull him in here. Of course, he's decided to run way over here. We are going to get him over here. He's starting to stall it out. Get in here. 487 gram gibble carp, so our bottom fishing is now up to 12.9%. Bell down. Snug the line. And wait and see what we get here. It looks like the first one will be the telestick. See what we can do here. If we get something moving. The Soviet rod's a lot more forgiving for being the Bolognese rod. This one here, if you go too soon, it'll just rip the bait right away because there's no way to set the hook. You literally have to be on the mark when you're doing it. And we've got line under and fish on. So at 271 gram common roach. Throw that line back out and we'll turn our attention over to the Soviet rod. It seems to be getting some nibbles. Hopefully me spaghettiing it there didn't do it. But I almost won the bet that took away from it. So we'll just pull it back out and reset it. Rod down. Keep an eye out. Watch for... Oh, we got action on the... Wow, do we ever. There's some action here on the spinning rod. I'm going to try and get the sucker reeled in. He's putting up a fight right now. He's out there a pretty good distance. Just got to tire him out. Nope, you're coming this way, buddy. He's really not wanting to give up a fight, though. And of course, by pulling tension off on him, I lost the fish, but it's alright. Oh no! He came back onto it again. Unless they were talking about the fish that was on another one, because this guy is still here. Now that is not a snag. I'm going to walk over here a little bit and try and see if we can shorten the distance between me and this fish. Unless he ran me up into a snag. He might have run me into a snag. Huh, no, that line's... It's still moving. We got a fish on it. I thought for a second we were snagged up. Oh, come on, dude. You're coming with me. Whatever you are, you're pretty tough. Oh, you ain't running. There you are. I finally got you to the surface. Come on, buddy. Get over here. That looks like a pretty decent sized fish. Come on. Get my net. Thank you. A 1.131 gibble carp. So that's why he was putting up such a fight. In real quick. Get this guy off the line here. I gotta check something. Take a look over here. There we go. Actually, I'm loving it a lot more now that it's English. It's still hard as hell to play, which is good because it's a good challenge. It's definitely not like any other fishing game I've played, which is really a good thing. As you said, it's hard sometimes to bring in the bigger fish, and obviously balancing 3 poles sometimes is not an easy option. So we got something on that rod right there. Little 29 gram bleak, and I currently don't see my other lure. Oh, bobber, he's way out there. Did he get yanked out there? I don't like him way out there anyway. So we'll reset it over here. Drop that back in there. And we're going to retension this line. So we need 18,000 experience points to get to level 12. I am at 2,950. And the fight is on again. Let's see if we can get this time out. Last time we had a nice fish. This one, he's coming to the shore way too easy. The 477 gram one. Decent sized carp. Set that rod down. Snug it back up again so we hear the bells go off. See, we're getting a little action here on the old cane pole. And my line went slack, so there might be something on that feeder. Although we do have a 1.3 meter wind out of the west. We might get lucky and get something off of here. He's moving it. Fish definitely has it. It definitely does come down to timing though. See, that feeder's moving. And of course, we do have something on the line. See how easy we can get this one in. Easy straight pull, so he's not going to be a huge one, but that doesn't really matter. 332 grams. We're up to 10 fish now. Trying to get way over there. Alright, so we're snugged up. I don't see my bobber for this rod, so we're going to drag this fish out of the water. A 107 gram Chinese sleeper. Nothing yet. And it looks like my telescopic once again is under fire by a fish. And it in fact is, so it'll be another Chinese sleeper. Fish must be migrating now because I'm catching different fish off of this telescopic telestick versus the Soviet bamboo rod. And we just saw the line slack off on the feeder. And we've got something on the feeder rod again. And this one's a little bit bigger because he'd slowed down my reeling speed, but I think we're going to get a straight pull now. Oh, he's slowing me down again. Let's tire him out a little bit. He's actually a pretty stout little fish. Of course, they do fight. The gibble carp do fight. It's just a battle of who's going to give up first, the fisherman or the fish. You can see he's still pretty much down there on the bottom. He's trying. I'm trying to get him to the surface here. There he is. Come on, buddy. How big are you? 753 grams, so that's good for 103 XP. Get that line out there again. Oh, personal record for a cast. Nice. Snug that up. We need to eat something because we are starving here. We're gonna eat one off of this one. Save the one piece there because that's how we make our bread balls. So our hunger is pretty much good. Let's see if we got something on this one, and we do. We've got another Chinese sleeper. We got our Soviet line going crazy over here too, so we probably have fish on all lines until I did that. Oh, now he's still interested. Let's get the bobber underwater here. Oh, he's going with it. Nope, get back here, fishy. We'll bring us in another gibble carp. Wow, 724 gram, and he came right in with the Polynese rod. Bait is not chosen, but yet there's a maggot on it. So we will stick that in and get that pull reset. See a little slack in the feeder. There, he's nice and tight. Zoom in and check everything. So it would assume that our feeder rod is going to be way over there up against the bank, which is right where I wanted it. Hopefully there's like a cut in the bank and that would lead for some bigger fish. So we're watching the action here on this one. Oh, we got... Yep, I have a tendency of doing that. Sometimes it's best to let that little Soviet rod just go. And when you see it bent over, just go for it. And we're getting action again on that one. This one's got to have a fish on it, and it does. Another gibble carp. Bait not chosen. What did I have on that one? I had bloodworms. Reset our bait. Don't see anything off of the feeder yet. But we've got 16 fish. And now we just play the waiting game, which already I see something is moving. My telestick. Get back here. Little gibble carp there. Reset our telestick and watch our Soviet one because I think it's about ready to go, and it is. It's underwater. So we will bring in a common roach off of that one. I just chose the bait, maggots. And I don't think where we have this rod, we're probably a little too far out with that one. So we'll set it down here, reset the drag, or the line tension on it. And see which pole goes crazy first. Soviet or telestick. I did see that on the telestick. Come on. Of course, we're going to have action on all three poles. Nice crucian carp. And we can see that our feeder rod has definitely got something on it. My line was to the right, and now it's way off there to the left, so we're gonna get this little guy in here. I can see he already instantly went top water. Let's get this. I believe that's gonna be a gibble. Yep, 170 gram. Set down the rod again. And once again, just do the reset game. And watch and see which pole's gonna go crazy first. Again, we might get action off of the telescopic, even though our bamboo is also getting bites. We could get the feeder rod to go off. It all depends. And I see that line moving, so I'm going to go with the feeder rod's about to go, but we've got a bobber under the water, and he just popped back up. I would almost bet that there's something small on this feeder. So there is. Just not enough to trigger the bells on the end of the rod. See what this little guy is. Little 40 gram gibble carp. Try it this way. Close the rod, or the bell. Tension the line. And go back to these two rods over here. Let's switch over to this one. See if we can get a decent fish reeled in here on the, well, not reeled, but pulled in on the Bolognese. Looking at our bars, oh, that guy took off with it. Come on. Nice little 71 gram perch. So we were fishing with bloodworms on this one. Anyway, before that came up, looking at the bars down in the lower left corner, the top bar is your energy, that's for like digging worms and stuff. Second bar is your food, third bar will be your luck, and then the fourth bar down at the bottom is your comfort level. And as we saw it earlier, when it was still dark, cold, and rainy out, my comfort level, he was not happy. Wow. We just pulled a 467 gram carp out of the water like it was nothing. Let's see, everything is all slacked out. Our other pole right now is going to get yanked out. Put it back in the hand. Set it down, and I have to alt tab here for a minute. So if you see my lines going crazy, like I can see the feeders going a little bit, I have to do something here real quick. do a little moderation here. Take care of that. This one as well. You hear my feet are going crazy. There we go. Alright, so we're good on that. Now I can actually go back over to here. And we can see we've got a ton of action going on. Our feeder has been going crazy, so let's see what we got on that. Sorry guys, I had to do a little bit of moderation on the forums. As I can proudly say that I am now part of the Russian Fishing for English forum moderation team. So we got a nice gibble carp there. We're going to keep going here as we do need to get to level 12. Alright, so what pole has what where? Let's say this one has... Well, obviously it'd be that bobber over there for the big telescopic. Should touch not to play with your food. Waiting to see which one's going to go under first. Surprised that carp actually stayed on the line as long as it did. Who is... Oh, that one's... We're going to take that. That's a good common roach. Nice, we have a 3.2 meter wind blowing. So I think it's about time we go to the Soviet rod, but once again we're going to have to eat. I'm going to eat a sugar duck instead this time. Which gave me a good chunk right there. I know as soon as I grab this rod it's going to go boing. Which it did. I let it get too far out. Oh, we'll just reset it. And we got action on the feeder again. Seems like my bottom feeding is going to go up. I've got to get the last little bit for float fishing up to 30%, so I believe I can do something else. I have to get my float fishing to 30% to do a certain thing, and then I have to get it to 35 for another. We'll look up in the skill trees afterward, but we can see that my bobber is upside down on that one, so we got to get this fish in. Take him. We definitely do have a fish on the Soviet rod. Pulling the slack. And get this guy brought in. We're going to have a nice little 57 gram tench. Drop our pole back down and take a look at our telescopic. So our fish count now is up to 27. And we were at 3.74K out of 18K to make it out of level 11. And then we can go, I believe, to Old Berg, which would be the next waterway. We'll pull this nice little crucian out. Oh, it's a tench. Wow, nice. Back to the bloodworm. That was a really good sized tench. over there. I had it out a little bit too far, but we're good. You can see our luck meter is empty, which that's going to be that way unless you catch lucky fish and continue to keep catching lucky fish. That meter will deplete. So our food's good, our energy's good, our comfort level is about halfway up, which that's normally about where it sits for me. We can see that we are heading into the evening here. Moon should be up somewhere, or coming up. See something on that Soviet rod is playing with it. And now it seems to have died off. Got slack in my feeder rod. Oh no, we got a fish on that feeder rod. Come here. Come here, you silly little fish. If you'd like to surface, that'd be nice. There you are. Gotcha. Another gibble carp. Right now I'm just working on getting the bottom fishing up, so it doesn't matter really what I catch. Obviously, the more fish you catch of the same species, the less XP you're going to get for it. So we got that snugged up. We'll go ahead and turn our flashlight on. Zoom in on our telescopics and Bolognese rod here. Okay, we see the Soviet rod getting a little wiggle there. Come on, set it. There we go. Good job. Another gibble carp. Now, I'll be the first one to admit, I am not the most finessed when it comes to working the Bolognese rod. That bamboo rod right there is probably, unless I'm at Mosquito Lake, I'll just usually keep that rod out. But going back and forth between the two rods here, I am more of a bull in the china shop right now. I've got to work on getting that a little bit more finessed. Because I have lost so many fish because it was just, okay, let me just jerk it in here because, hey, I got a fish on it. Well, no, let's just pull it. But you have to actually time it and wait for it. I see my line. We've got a fish on that feeder. Yep. So a lot of times I don't even have to wait for the bell. I can just watch the line if I see it start running off in a particular direction. Obviously, just like real life, you know that you've got a fish. And this will be another gibble. 366 grams. Oh, we need to put bait on it. So we're going to go with our dough ball. As always, close the bell on the reel. Get that set up nice and taut. We're getting some nibbles here on the Soviet rod. I don't want to touch it yet because I know it will just jump out of the water if I just go to grab it right now. I want to see that rod go completely underwater, or the bobber go completely underwater before I grab onto this one, like so. And there's still a good chance I can rip it out like that. So finesse is definitely key with these rods. And I'm about to, oh, look at that. So once again, we see that line going crazy, so we're going to jump to the feeder rod. Looks like we got us another, so maybe a crucian. Yep, 370 gram crucian carp. You can tell the crucians because they have a bit of a gold hue to them. And then the gibbles are straight silver. And I'm a little hesitant to do that, but it didn't really move the bobber that far, and it probably didn't scare the fish away either. It seems like the closer you get it in towards the grass is when it scares the fish off. And of course now we're going to start getting a little action on the telestick. Let's go ahead and switch over to that rod. Leave my bamboo in the water for now. All the while I'm watching the bobber here on this telescopic, I'm also watching the line over there to the right on the feeder rod. If I see it take off in a direction like it's doing right now, we're going to change rods. And right there, before the bells even went off, I knew I had a fish because the line was getting pulled. So we're going to reel in our bottom feeder line, and it's either going to be a crucian or a gibble again. And I do believe that will be a gibble. No, that's a crucian. It's a little hard to see at night. Pulling the tension on that. Hit our zoom button. Now you guys who have followed me for a long time on this channel know that I do a variety of games. And I'm starting to pick up my streaming of this game on here. I know probably the most predominant streamer for Russian Fishing 4 would be Lady of Games. And we've got a fish on this one. 182 gram tench, so we're at 29.6 on float fishing. We're so close to that 30% mark. Come on. Oh, we got a little action there. Let's see if I don't screw this one up. Yeah, and I did. It happens. Watching my lines. We do have still a 3.3 now meter per second west wind, and we are kind of right in that area. So yeah, always take that into consideration, that when the wind's blowing, it's going to blow the bait fish, or it's going to blow the algae, number one, which is going to make the bait fish move. And then obviously your predatory fish are going to follow where the bait fish go. So you really have to pay attention to which way the wind's blowing and where you are standing. And I'm almost wanting to say I've got something on that feeder. I thought I did. I don't know. It's got a little something, something, but I don't think it's a fish. No, we didn't get anything. It was just bouncing because of the wind. But that's okay, because we can always reset it. I actually want to reset it over this way. As you can see, when you cast out, the wind will carry that line whichever way the wind is blowing. Just like real life. There's a million times I've gone out fishing and I've had to cast way away from where I wanted to go just to get it where I wanted it to go. Let's see if we can get something here on this Russian bamboo rod. I don't see my feeder doing anything right now. We've got the bobber getting played with. We've got... Oh. We do have something on the feeder. I'm gonna reel that in. He's not putting up a big fight, so it's not gonna be a big fish. $160 gram gibble carp. Close the bell, set it down, adjust the tension on the line. And come back to both of our rods, which are both currently bouncing in the water. So we do have fish. Nope. Alrighty, back on that feeder rod again. Get this gibble in. 241 grams. Set our rod down again. Get that line nice and taut. We do have a fish currently taking our line here, so we'll pull in another gibble, another 187 gram. Drop that pull back down, and we will pick up our telescopic and see if we can catch something on that, which right now we do have a fish on. We're going to pull in a 286 gram crucian carp. So we need to put another bloodworm back on that. And about the time we do that, we're going to have our feeder rod going nuts. So you can see the line slacking off and tightening back up. So we've got our two float lines in the water. We're going to watch this feeder because I'm watching it go out and then back in. Right there. Fish on. More than likely it'll be another gibble. We're going to get this pulled up to shore here, and it is in fact another gibble carp at 229 grams, so we'll get this thing cast back out again. Bell closed. Tighten the line up on it. Check our other poles. See the bamboo's going a little nuts here. Pick that up and hopefully it doesn't jerk too much. Oh, we got a good sized fish on this one. Holy crud. That's a nice crucial. Oh, that's a huge tench. 737 grams, so that is going to help out a lot. It looked almost like a crucian at first, but the crucian and the tench look a lot alike. So we're now about 4:30 in the morning. We're sitting at 40 fish. We're going to want to make our run over to the fish market and sell off our catch before they start rotting too bad. Looking at our lines, everything is alright right now. Now, I do not at all recommend doing this, leaving your rods in the water as you run off to sell your fish, because that's how you can destroy gear. But given the location that I'm at right now and the gear that I'm using, I'm not afraid to quickly run up to the market and sell off my catch for maximum. If anything, we might break even or get a little in the positive as to what we spent at the bait store. So we're going to take all our fish here and we're going to scroll down and look and see our minimum fish has degraded 4%. He's been in there for an hour and 3 minutes. So we're going to get $20 or 20.75 silver. So we're right pretty much back up to where we were before we bought all the bait and started fishing. And we're sitting now at 4.63K out of 18. So it's still a long, long way to go before we reach level 12. But hands down, I'm getting a lot more XP by fishing this area versus Mosquito Lake. So normally I would never recommend running off. We're going for world domination, Caleb. World domination. Alan helped get my foot in the door, and now it's up to me just to keep it in the door and not screw anything up. So that's a nice fish. Put that out there. Rod back down. But what I love about this is it's just so technical. You have to make sure your bait's on. Make sure, especially with a feeder line, that it's hooked. You have to have a technique with the telescopic rods. It's not like the other games that we've played where it's just, okay, just throw it in the water, wait for it to hit, and reel it in. So we do have a bite going on right now, but oh, we actually got it that time. Well, I would say thanks for the spot and the points, but you're so far ahead of me right now that it's not going to make a difference. You're still going to probably hold on to your, you might lose one spot to maybe Adam or something, but it's not going to be in danger of me. And it sucks too, because you're going to miss the last race of the season. We're going to Homestead. That's really going to suck to miss the last race. But we all know my luck with Homestead. Yeah, you did win at Richmond, and that right there is a feat in itself. I'm still so bummed that I didn't get the win at Talladega. If Corey had just backed off and pushed me, I could have got it. But I'll take a second place. It did help a little bit after my horrible finish at Charlotte. Switch back over to this rod. Of course, that's going to bounce it out of the water because the fish had it down. And we got a fish on the feeder. Oh, I knew he was committed, and I mean, I got to give Adam props because I mean, he literally stuck on my ass that entire race. It's just we had that run there with Josh behind us. He kept bailing out of the top side. If we had 3 cars on the top side, we would have easily had to run off of 4 and we would have been able to clear Corey and Robert. At least I would have. But we're all racing for points. So it's fair game. I'm just lucky that I didn't get caught in the big one there. As of, let's see, my plate history with the league, every plate race got caught in the big one. And that feeder rod is just going nuts. Trying to get my float fishing up, and I'm sitting here just rocking this feeder rod here. Looks like a good sized crucian. Alright, so we got that reel in. And now we play the game of sitting here. So we've got something that was playing with that, but I jerked it too far out of the water. Set that one back down and we'll focus on this telescopic. It seems that sugar duck bar keeps you energized a lot longer than just eating a loaf of bread or 2. I need to get some more game footage of Gold Rush in, but right now I'm still just rocking the single dig out with a shovel thing, so not really exactly the most exciting to watch. I just gotta get more gold melted down so I could buy stuff other than just the excavator. The excavator is not going to do me any good if I can't buy the mobile wash plant, and then having to keep the mobile wash plant fueled. And I've got the no, I've got the water pump. I don't have the generator. So I have to buy a lot of stuff. But in things to look in the future, me and Mike last night pre-ordered Spin Tires Mud Runner. So we'll be given that. Are you using the keyboard or a controller? Because on controller, the excavator is so easy to use even though the controls are backwards. Oh boy, this one's putting up a fight. Ah, yeah. If you're using a keyboard, it is definitely a pain in the ass to rock that excavator. On a controller, it is so much easier. That's a good sized fish right there. Where do you think you're going, buddy? Get back here. You're coming over this way. home skillet. I will get you out the water. Get up here. Come here. Get my net. Get in my net. 948 grams. Bottom fishing is up to 15% now. Using an Xbox controller is definitely a huge benefit. Everything is simplified, even the hand digging, all that good stuff. Okay, let me back up a little bit more. I don't know what the hell my guy's stuck on there. Back up. There you go. How am I unable to complete? Back up more then. There, you're on land. Somehow I had walked off into the algae there. I have almost completely dug out that first claim by hand. And granted, I did find like a 40-ounce nugget, which gave me, I think it translated out to about $55,000, but I also do have a loan with the bank, which I tried paying back. It wouldn't let me. I just think it's funny that Mike, who bought me the game, has played it for about 5 minutes, and he's like, oh, this game's too buggy, it's pissing me off, so. It does have its moments, it does need optimization still, but what I'm looking at is we don't have all the content that was on, like the Kickstarter account, so this, I think, isn't really the full game, it is the beta, I don't think. I'm not really sure that is the full game. Because we don't have the big dump truck. We have basically all the stuff that we had in the demo. So I'm almost wanting to say that we're pretty much just in a beta right now, which is why they're doing all these optimization patches and everything that they're doing. Well, hopefully they give us something a little bit more. Or if anything, not giving us anything, just optimizing it a little bit more so it's not so jittery at times. I did notice it gets a little bit jittery. Now if I take this rod and it bounces again, which it did, it's not affecting the fish, he still wants it. And plus you also have to keep in mind that Gold Rush is also another playaway game. And Car Mechanic Simulator is just now finally getting to where it's not completely broken, and now I'll actually play it. The Jeep DLC is actually pretty decent. But then again, I also restarted my career. I think you could still use that CMS promo 2018 to... Oh, that is a nice crucian carp. Need bait. Red balls. Alright, so we got that set. I love how I always get my notifications late. My phone just now sent out a notification saying that Lady Games went live on Twitch. Alright, I don't think we're going to see too much action here in next minute and a half, so I'm going to use this opportunity to run over there to one of those trees and pee behind it real quick. Oh, look at that, my feeder rod. Imagine that. Going nuts. So we'll go over here and grab it. Good thing there's no Russian game wardens, because they would have probably, fish got off my line. Jerk. Probably sat on it too long. We don't need the Russian game wardens come over and give me a fine for peeing behind a tree. Let's set this line down. There's the tension. See what we can get here. If we can get anything with one of these bamboo or telescopic rod. I think the feeder's already going again. Yeah. But there's nothing on it. Had it been the wind blowing it. Weird. Alright, so the Soviet rod is getting some action, but it's almost out at its limit. And if I grab it right now, I know it's going to spaghetti me. But there is a fish on it. And he seems to still be on it, so we're going to snatch him up out of the water, and that's a nice little 213 gram tench. And we were using maggots on this one. Maggots on the Russian rod. Bloodworms on the telescopic, and then dough balls here on the feeder. And I can see we've got something going here. There we go, we hooked him. He was just running around with it thinking it was his own. Fish, you coming in. May not be the biggest one I've caught, but 294 gram gibble carp. So our bottom fishing is going up even more. So we're just going to do the same rinse and repeat here. Get the line stretched out and hope we can catch something on one of our rods here. Okay, so we've got a fish on that. I want to wait till that bobber kind of starts cruising away or something before I do it. Like that. There we go. That's a good gibble right there. Yeah, look at that. Float fishing now I can use a Bolognese rod. So I got my float fishing up to 130, which means now I have to buy equipment. So now that we got that to 30, we're going to try and get it to 35. Not tools, food. I was right next to it. We're going to eat 2 pieces of this, and then we're going to go, oh, feeder rod, fish. And he got away. He got away. If I could catch some pike, that would be probably beneficial. But they're not here. Mr. Superman, he's not here. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna make some bread because we've got 2 of them sitting here that are at 0. So this is gonna help with our bait making. Do it again. We've got another one. We're gonna prepare some more bread balls. So now our harvesting bait is at 6.9. And my feeder rod is way the hell over here. And we just got us a nice little common roach. And I honestly think there's something on my feeder rod because it's pulled the line way over. Yep, we did have something on the feeder. The bells weren't even going off. That's not a gigantic fish, but it's going to be another gibble carp at least. Yep, 165 gram. Bottom fishing is up. Close the rod. Tension the line. I don't think we've had anything with that rod in a while, but we need, of course, we need to, something's on that line. We got to get this fish. We had another gibble. Yep, 290 grammer. Get him out there, set it down, and our other pole is going nuts already. So this is just a constant grind of going back between pole to pole to pole to pole. Whoa, holy crap, he just spit that thing out. Wow. That's the first time I've seen that. And go back to bread balls. That was interesting. He just puked that thing straight out. He's like, oh, you want me? Nope, you're not getting me. Where is the bobber for this one? No, he's way over there. We've got a bite going on right now. And once again, I miffed it. I don't like it when the bobber gets so far over. We only have a fish had to have carried it because we only have a northeast 0.4 meter per second wind. Now, of course, I'm not going to have the money to buy anything probably like a decent Bolognese rod. Okay, so we got a little slack right now in our feeder. And there's the action. See if we can get this one in without losing it. Come to Papa, there you go. 228 gram gibble carp. Now this, in reality, if I was casting lines out like I am right now, I would be so screwed because I'd have so many lines crossed over each other. It'd be hilarious. It'd be like fishing with my stepdad. Damn it, John, why'd you catch the line that way? I'm over here. Oh, I didn't see you cast it. Yeah, really? You didn't watch me whip that line out there. Let's try over here. A little further in. And I can barely see that bobber. As you can tell, this telescopic has a lot more line length on it than that Russian rod. But the good thing about the Russian rod is if you break it, you can always just go back to Mosquito Lake and get a new one. And I have a feeling we're going to have to switch rods again. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a fish on that feeder right now. Oh, come on. That is going to be a nice crucian carp. Throw that back out. We definitely do have a fish on this line. It's moving. Wow, look at that. Just the time it took for me to pick it up. It is, bam, all up in there. Granted, once again, it's not a big fish. This is going to be a nice, another crucian carp. Oh, need to put more bait on it. There's that. Let's see. I'm going to watch our two telescopics. Well, one's a telescopic and one is a bamboo. So we're going to watch our two fixed line rods, but we're also going to keep an eye on that line to the right if I see it start moving. And obviously I'm going to shift my attention to the feeder rod. We are getting a little action here though on the telescopic. But I'm also watching, and we're getting strikes over there on the feeder. We might see something where it says fish got away, because right now it's sitting pretty slack. But I wouldn't rule out that there might be a fish on that line, and he's just got it right now in his mouth. Oh, yep. Yep, look at that. He just had it in his mouth and was just chilling with it. And of course now my other rod has a fish on it too. Another gibble carp. Close it. Especially now as being late October going into November. Fishing is going to be a lot more fun when you're inside your house and it's nice and heated. Versus, well, we'd have to wait now almost till probably January or February for striper season. Come on, baby, get in here. That looks like a roach. Nope, Chinese sleeper. Sometimes it's hard to tell which fish is coming in. But one of the things to really look at is when you're here at a lake, is look at the records, and it'll show what they caught what on. So here's one of our other moderators here. This is Kachi. He's also a fellow streamer. He's caught a 3.121 kilogram asp with a real minnow here at Winding Rivulet. And then we can see the biggest bleak was caught with a fly. Here's 133 grams. A blue bream on a maggot. A bream at 3.2 kg on a worm. A burbot at 4.32 with a night crawler. Catfish was caught with a perch, and that's a 17.2 kilogram fish. This is the nice thing about things. You can just look down through the list, and you can see who has caught what on what. Like there's a mussel that was caught with a lure. A zander caught with a lure. White-eyed bream. A white bream. Tench with diced cheese, really. I'm going to try that. See if I can catch me a tench with some diced cheese. Although I highly doubt... Well, no, I have been catching tench out of here, so I might put some diced cheese on my feeder line here and see if I can get a good-sized tench reeled in. Obviously, the bigger the fish, the more the XP, and this is going to be probably a bleed... no, that's a gibble. I do have diced cheese, so let's try that. See if I can catch a tench on that. I'm not seeing the bobber for my other rod. That's because I had a fish on it, and I think it's a Chinese sleeper. Yep, 75 grams. Get him back out in the water. Set him back down. Focus our attention over here to the Soviet rod. See what we can do here. We've got something on it right now, but I'm about to jerk the line, and it just spaghettied it back to the shore, so that was no good. Set our main line back down. Go back to our feeder rod here. Let's see what we got going on here. We might be able to catch a tench if I cast out to the right with the cheese. I know my line has slacked off a little bit and our bobber is sideways right now with that, but yep, just jerk it right out of the water, who cares. Set it back down and restart. I want to see if that line moves any or if it was just because of the slack current. Oh, we got something pulling my line under on this one. And like an idiot, I pop it right out of the water. There, you got two different baits right next to each other. Take one. Just take one of my baits. Might be dangerous doing this, but the fish is still interested. Can we get one? Oh, now our other rod's underwater. There we go. Come on, baby. Chinese sleeper. And we've got something on our Soviet rod. Please don't fly through the air. Now he's still interested in it, so let's see if we can hook it on this one. I'm almost debating going back to Mosquito Lake here. I've been at Winding Rivulet for about 3 days now. So we've got something pulling it. And there we go. We set the hook and bingo. Gibble carp. It's just at this waterway we're going to have a better chance of getting some higher XP fish versus other lakes. And right now I don't think cheese is working on the diced cheese is not working on the spinning rod right now. Now I could try the ultimate in why am I torturing myself, but let's see, we're gonna go back to bread balls for bait on this one. And then I'm gonna try something here. Yeah, we only have 3 slots. We don't have 4. I'm using the Sorrento rod. There's our Bolognese rod, which we cannot put to another class yet, so we're just going to stick with what we got. I lean on Alan a lot for setting up rods and stuff because he knows a lot more about it than I do because he's been at this game a lot longer. Oh, nice perch. So this one has bloodworms on it. I'll just lean on Alan when it comes to picking out stuff for the Bolognese rod. So we're almost halfway. Oh. Set that down, take a step over here, and we got a line going nuts over here. And as soon as I do that, my other line's going nuts too. This sucker reeled in. Another gibble carp. Getting our bottom fishing leveled up. Let's take a look over here. Unless that line goes completely under with a fish, I am not grabbing this Soviet rod because it will straight up screw me over. We got a little action going on between the two of them here. Sorry, don't know you. If I don't know you, I don't answer your phone call. That's why they make this thing called a voicemail. Really? I had that little sucker. If it's important enough, they'll leave a voicemail. That's my take on it. Ooh, Nelly, come on. You're coming into me. Wow, that thing is really stressing out my rod. Oh boy. Oh, he was in the red there for a second, but that is a big... Is that a tench? Wow, 1.24 kg tench. Definitely keeping that thing. That's a monster for coming in on a telescopic rod. That damn near broke my stuff. They put the line in the red there for a while. I could have snapped that one. Nice tench though. And no doubt that will be a great paying fish too, the size that thing was. That's what we call a logfish. Bite it, bite it, bite it, bite it, bite it. You know you want to. You want that maggot on the end of the line. So now to remember, I caught that big tench on a bloodworm. Yeah, buddy, I got you. Dinky little gibble carp, but who cares? We are fishing and making money. If this feeder rod wasn't doing so good, I would go back to just running a spinner, but with the lure on it, but this feeding rod is doing an amazing job. That's great. Missed call. Don't care. You didn't leave a voicemail, so apparently it wasn't important. Please don't jump it. That did, but not bad. Nope. We gotta go over there to that feeder rod. Oh boy, this one's like reeling in a log. Until now. Now he's sort of coming up. There he is. He's already top water. Come on, buddy. Once that reel stops, now I gotta pull up. Personal record maximum number of fish caught for one day. That's a nice 878 gram carp. Get this back out in the water here. I like personal records. I thought that my record stood over 40 fish in one. Oh, okay, never mind. It goes off of total, not just what's currently in your fish keep. Why is that going off? The fish that got away was on that one. Watch that line there, and once again I get stuck in the algae. Hey, I'm backed myself out. The other day I actually had to alt F4 because I was fishing on the bank over there on the other side, and somehow I accidentally stepped off of the bank, so I had to alt F4 and come back into the game. But it happens. You see a little bit of fog going on here. I'm almost wondering if there isn't something on that feeder because I keep tensioning the line. I keep tensioning it and it keeps slacking off. I don't know, I didn't cast over there. There's something on that. At least I thought there was. We only have a 0.4 meter wind. I don't know why that would have drifted way over there. Let's try an experiment. We're going to cast out this way. And set our stiffness on that. Oh, we got something on the Soviet rod. And I just ripped it right out of his mouth. Either way. We'll put up the Soviet rod here. We got a little action going on with the telescopic. See if we can make anything happen off of it. When you start taking off, that'd be great. Like that. He's moving with it. I almost pulled in on that when he had the bobber sitting slack on the water. Now we're going to try it. Oh, we got one. Nice crucian carp. Go ahead and put that away, and then we'll go over here to the feeder rod, which it is still nice and taut. I don't see it bouncing around. So we're going to put our focus right now just on the feeder rod, because since I've got my float fishing up to where I can use a Bolognese rod, a Bolognese rig, I need to work on getting my bottom fishing up so I can get a heavier duty version of that going. Okay, just making sure that my reel was closed. Didn't want to make that mistake again. Let's reel this thing in. We're going to try and go down to the end of the shallow here and put the feeder rod out in a little bit of a current, or we're going to try casting up into the pond, see what that does. This is the only still water spot. The rest of this entire waterway, there is a current. We're going to put that rod up. We're going to run down here. We're going to start from the narrows, which is right here. We're at Oxbow Lake. This part, I believe, does have a current, so we're going to try a test here. We're going to throw out into this water, see if it drags with the current. Huh, I believe I'm still in slack water. I know over here, this has definitely got a current. I think it's still protected where I'm fishing right now. It's not in a current. But there is a very easy way to find out. We'll do this. There's a slight, very, very, very minute current. You can see that bobber is slowly, very, very slowly making its way downstream. But it's not bad. Not bad at all. Basically, it's not as bad as if you were actually fishing in the river. Down there on the bottom bar, in the center, you would see it say drifting with current. I just basically wanted to test by throwing this in there. And now I know that once you get past that shallow spot right there, you do get a little bit of a current pulling out, but that's nothing compared to what the actual river is. The river does have a pretty strong current. So I'm going to pull this in, and we're going to turn around and we're going to cast into the pond, which has slack water in it. And I think we're also going to eat a sugar duck too. Actually, we're going to look. I do have a reel. That's for the Siberia though. Food, we've got plenty of bread, so let's eat a couple pieces of bread here. That gets our hunger pretty well good. So we're going to try fishing up this angle of the pond, and we're going to go for a maximum cast here. So we close the reel. We've got it set down. And now we've got it ready to go. Let's see if we can catch something from this end of the pond with the feeder. I don't feel like breaking all three rods out right now. So we're getting ever closer to the halfway mark here on level 11. 6.62K out of 9K is what I'd need for halfway. Because it's 18 18,000 XP total to make it to level 12. So I just want to see if we can catch anything up here with a feeder. And you know what? Why not? Let's cast this out there and see if we can catch something here. Let's get all three of them out. Why not? So we've got both of our fixed line rods and our feeder rod in the water again. And we'll see if we can catch anything over here in the narrows. Now you'd figure this would be a good spot, seeing how this is where all the fish come into the pond. It's the only access point from the river for them to get into here. It's all about experimenting and trying different baits and different spots. I know sometimes you have to whip around and go on the other side of the bank. But where we're sitting, I don't think we're really in a money spot. Even though we do have 28 fish in our fish keep out of 100. I would hate to see the degradation of the first fish caught if you actually did do 100 fish. I'd be curious to see how rotten the very first fish was. So our line has been in on that feeder rod for a while, and I'm not really seeing any action going on here. We've got nothing on the feeder. I might actually just travel back to Mosquito Lake again and fish the spots that I know there's a ton of fish at. It only costs, I think, a couple silver for me to travel here to Winding Rivulet, but if I do travel, that will be on another stream. Looking at the clock now, it's 2 o'clock. I do have some things I do have to take care of. And we're not getting anything on this. Pull that one in. Pull this rod in. Turn our flashlight off. And now we're going to run all the way back. Right now we're in the dammed valley. You can see up here we have the river. And then over here we have Beaver's Island. Right now we're in the pasture. This does have a current through here. And it's very narrow. And I got stuck in the bushes. This would be Beaver Island. Beaver's Island. It's kind of hard to see with the well, this will show you just how much of a current this place has here. And down at the bottom it says drifting with the current. And now my bobber will sit like that because it is at the end of its line. It's still trucking down a little bit. But that's actually out pretty far. So this river does have a pretty good ripping current underneath it. It looks still on the top, but it has an undertow. Yeah, we're not going to catch anything in a current like that. So we put our rod up. I'm going to run back up to the village here. We're going to sell our fish. And we're going to say farewell to Winding Rivulet for a little while. I think my worst fish was caught an hour ago, and it's down to 96%. So we're going to make 1561 on fish. So we now have 151.19, and we're going to go now to here. This is your tutorial pond, and then this is the base lake, Mosquito Lake. We're at Winding Rivulet, and then the next one that we'll unlock, which will be level 12, will be Old Berg Lake, and then at level 16, Quarry Lake. And then level 18, we'll get Bear Lake. And then level 20, we get the Volkhov River. But we're going to go back to Mosquito Lake, which will set us up for the next time. We get going. Plus here it's easier to, well, you've got the, what we call it, the goulash wagon before. It's actually the, it's a little food trailer where you can go in every day, once a day, and replenish your food without having to like eat a bunch of stuff. But you do have to do it. You can only do it once a day, so it's best to pretty much let your hunger get pretty out there before you do it. So now we're back at Mosquito Lake, and that pretty much is going to do it for now. We've got $151, but we will be returning back to Mosquito Lake here shortly. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and there'll be a lot more to come in the future here with Russian Fishing 4. So once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.